everyone, welcome back to Beyond the Label. Ruby here, and as always, I'm joined by Eric. Today we're jumping into a topic I've been itching to cover, accessible technology and how it's seriously transforming lives.
Hi all, I have to admit this is one of my favourite subjects. I mean, we've talked about the importance of the right tools in episodes on classroom inclusion and independent living. But tech is evolving so quickly that it honestly feels like a new breakthrough every few months.
Seriously, remember when screen readers were clunky and a bit robotic? Now, with things like Apple's VoiceOver, oh my gosh, it'll read out stuff so naturally that my mate Jess, who's got low vision, can keep up better than I can sometimes. And then there's Google's live caption. I set it up for Jess during an online uni class, and it just instantly started captioning videos and even podcasts. She was absolutely blown away, just grinning ear to ear.
It's remarkable. And hearing aids too, they're not just amplifying sound anymore. You've got devices with Bluetooth now connecting right to your phone, streaming music, answering calls, plus advanced noise filtering so you're not just getting blasted by every little noise in the background. Eye tracking? That one still amazes me.
I know! Setting up one of those with Jess was like watching science fiction. Suddenly, she could scroll through her study materials, click on stuff, type just by moving her eyes. It's not even a big deal for her now to participate in group work. If you'd told me this would be everyday tech 5 years ago, I probably would have laughed. Now it's everywhere, or well, at least getting there.
That's the key, isn't it? The evolution's not finished, and as quickly as things are moving, there are still gaps. But pioneers like Apple and Google have really raised the bar for everyone by building these features directly into their mainstream products.
Totally. And I feel like the leap with AI over the last couple of years has been wild. Suddenly, tech isn't just accessible, it's actually adaptive, personalizing itself for each person's needs on the fly.
Absolutely. Machine learning is taking center stage. AI can pick up on your speech or movement patterns, even your preferred reading speed, and then it adjusts everything automatically. There's this incredible app from Microsoft, Seeing AI. My uncle tried it after he lost his sight, and it just changed everything for him.
Is that the one where it narrates text, recognizes faces, even describes what's in a photo? I think I saw someone using it at the shops. Pointed their camera and bam, it told them which can was beans instead of tomatoes.
Exactly. It gives you a running commentary, context and detail that some people would have thought impossible just a decade ago. And then, not to get too sci-fi, but immersive technologies, augmented reality, virtual reality, they're opening up fresh possibilities for people with all sorts of abilities. Imagine joining a classroom or workplace, interacting and collaborating as your authentic self, all without physical barriers.
I went down a rabbit hole the other day, watching videos of VR used for wheelchair navigation, letting you map out a public space before you even go there. It's such a game changer for planning and for reducing anxiety too.
Right. And with AI and immersive tech working together, we're just at the beginning of what's possible in supporting greater independence and participation for everyone.
Right on. And none of it happens in a vacuum. I mean, it's easy to take things like accessibility settings for granted now, but those wouldn't exist without the push from legislation like the ADA in the States or WCAG standards that basically set the rules for how websites should work for everyone.
Those legal frameworks actually force innovation, don't they? It's not just nice to have, it becomes a requirement, which makes companies not only comply, but get creative. Apple, Google, Microsoft, they're all racing to implement universal design, so the features are built for everyone, not as afterthoughts.
But there's a tension too, isn't there? I remember at our last JellyPod hackathon where we had this challenge: make a tool that everyone, absolutely everyone, could use, regardless of ability. We argued for half an hour about colour contrast, and I properly thought my head would explode. But then someone piped up with this brilliantly simple idea, and suddenly it all clicked. Building for accessibility unlocks creativity. Except sometimes it feels like it slows things down, or people just tick a box and move on.
True. Universal design is more than checking off requirements. It's iterative. We learned as much at that hackathon. Real inclusion takes engagement, problem-solving, and quite honestly, humility. But the rewards? Well, when you get it right, everything just works better for everybody. That's the ideal anyway. Let's peek into the crystal ball a bit. Brain-computer interfaces, honestly, that technology fascinates me. Connecting our thoughts directly to devices, it could break down communication barriers way beyond anything we've had before.
Relatable. I keep thinking about how much untapped potential people have, simply because tools aren't quite there. Brainwave-driven tech sounds a bit sci-fi, but like text-to-speech was basically magic once, right?
Definitely. And it's not just new tech itself, it's the way the community gets involved now. Users are shaping the development as it happens. Feedback loops mean engineers can tweak things in real time. Assistive devices are evolving faster because of that back and forth.
Yep, the community's got the loudest voice in the room now. I love that. The partnerships between tech giants and grassroots advocacy groups are turning into these magnets for ideas. A lot of what's coming next isn't being invented in a vacuum. It's coming straight from lived experience.
Exactly, and it means the focus stays on solving the real problems, not just the shiny ones. Making sure accessible tech is equitable comes down to having all those voices in the room, not just the engineers and executives.
All right, before we finish, let's talk about the global picture, because not everyone has the same access to these incredible tools. There are still massive gaps depending on where you live and how much money you've got.
There's a huge digital divide, isn't there? Some countries can't even get reliable broadband, let alone advanced assistive devices. And yet, there are clever, low-cost innovations like solar-powered hearing aids or simple smartphone apps tailored for different regions that are starting to close that gap in a meaningful way.
Exactly. The real magic is when big tech, NGOs, and local communities all get on board together. We're seeing more collaborations crop up to make affordable solutions, build infrastructure, and honestly, just make sure accessible design is standard everywhere, not just in wealthy countries. It's not perfect, not even close, but it's moving.
And as those infrastructures improve, the creativity and potential across communities is just going to go through the roof. It's about working together, scaling smart solutions, and sharing what works globally.
Couldn't have said it better. And that's about our time today. Thanks for diving into accessible tech with us, everyone. I'm sure we'll be back with more on this as the field keeps moving. Eric, thanks for sharing your stories and your brain.
Always a pleasure chatting with you, Ruby. And thank you to our listeners for joining us on Beyond the Label. See you all next time.